Welcome back to Any Given Monday. Ryan Gerard, champion of the Barracuda Championship. But it's rare that I have a PJ Tour winner on, and that's not the first thing we talk about because we have to talk about a round that happened 2 days after the Barracuda, after he won the Barracuda. So, kind of walk us through how you got to Vegas and then who Cam is and go from there, Ryan.
Yeah, ended up kind of looking for something to do between last week winning the Barracuda, and I had a putting lesson in San Diego on Friday, and it's on the West Coast, so I figured I was just gonna try and hang out. So I ended up hanging out in Reno for a day. My buddy Cam, he played mini tours in South Florida where I live. Played with him a bunch, and I knew he was starting a new job on Monday, so I was basically like, "Hey, dude, before you go, before you go start the real world, you want to come hang out, play some golf, celebrate a little bit." And he was all for it. He had nothing better going on, so shout out to him for basically dropping everything and coming to hang out with me for a couple days. And I ended up playing some good golf in Vegas on Wednesday and Thursday, and Thursday Thursday morning ended up at TPC Summerlin, and he decided to make a hole in one on a par four, and then 6 holes later make a two on a par five. So it was pretty insane. It was two albatrosses and 7 holes. Um,
I mean, I put it into ChatGPT, Ryan. I don't know if you saw the tweet, but it was like one. They put it at 1 to 100 billion, between 100 billion and 1 trillion in one. Like, I mean, expect. I say this all the time. It's like I play. I was saying this to a bunch of players. I talked. It was like I play a little muni. There's like 4 or 5 reachable par fours, and all the par fives are like, basically par fours. Like, it would be insane if it happened there, right? But like on a legitimate golf course, I mean, it will never be done again on a legitimate golf course ever. It just won't. I refuse to believe it'll ever happen again.
yeah, no, I was insane. He hit great golf shots both times. It wasn't like he just kind of like fanned one and it rolled out in the hole. I mean, both the shots were exactly how he wanted to hit them, right at the flag stick, and you obviously got to get lucky for him to go in, but it was pretty impressive. And then, we were riding pretty high, so we thought we were invincible there for a little bit, and made a couple bogeys here and there, but he had a great time. Super pumped for him. He's starting a new job today, but there were a couple moments there. It was like, hey man, like,
Yeah,
you ever think about like not quitting? Like, do you
yeah,
want to go? Do you want to? Do you want to try and give this another shot? I mean,
yeah.
shooting 9 under 63 at a course that hosts PJ Tour event for the last 15 years is not too shabby. So, yeah, he's still got it. It's still in there for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I said to him, "As like, he's like one Monday, Corn Ferry Monday away from quitting, Ryan, right? Like his this
Yeah.
new previous job, right? He's like, there's no doubt that the 63 he just shot is in his head as he starts his job today. So he'll find some days off to go chase some Mondays. He'll get through one, and they all come back, Ryan. They all come back.
Yeah, they all come back for sure.
100%. Okay, let's to get to the Barracuda, we got to go to the Scottish. So you play the Scottish, and then you were second alternate, Ryan, at the time for
So
British.
I finished up I finished up the Scottish on Sunday. I was fifth alternate, I want to say.
Mhm.
Um, and then Paul Waring withdrew and Ernie Els withdrew. So that bumped me to third. And then Joe Highsmith decided that he wasn't going to go over there. I think he missed the cut at the Scottish and went back home, so he wasn't going over there. So then at some point on Monday, like later on Monday, I was second alternate, and I was trying to figure out what I should do. Um, I was in I was in JFK Airport in New York, like halfway between um, Scotland and Reno, basically.
Going one way or the other.
Yeah, what do I need to get the clubs, get off this flight, and try and get back over to Ireland, or do I need to just keep going? So I think we were kind of looking, kind of trying to figure it out. I knew I knew that there weren't too many people that were probably going to WD from the Open. Just had a couple people on the ground, you know, feeling it out. There's always one or two guys that might WD, but for the most part, if you have someone on the ground that kind of understands what's going on, you can get a good feel of what the possibilities were. And we weren't hearing a lot of good stuff. And since it's a major too, like guys are more inclined, in my opinion, to tee it up, hurt,
Stick
or
out.
just
Yeah.
yeah, just rough it out. So didn't feel great about my chances. So Ben Griffin really helped. He was like, just go to Reno. Like
Yeah.
it's probably not going to happen. And then by the time I got to Reno, I got in Tuesday morning, like 2:30 in the morning. So it wasn't exactly super super tired or super excited, and just stuck it out. And as the time went on, was expecting if someone withdrew, I was going to fly back if I was first alternate, but didn't really get to that point. And yeah, I mean, it just at a certain point on Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening, I told Austin Eckroat, who was the guy right behind me on the alternates list, that I wasn't going to go at like 5 p.m. Pacific on Tuesday, just from the standpoint of even if I got there, I wasn't
It's
going to be
not ideal
prepared.
conditions. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't going to be prepared. I wasn't going to be ready. So I was just going to stick it out. And I'm glad I did. It worked out. And
Yeah.
we'll take it.
So go back to being in JFK. I mean, I know I've caddied for guys who are alternates. Basically, what you're doing, Ryan, I assume your agent, friends, Ben on the ground, whoever, are like you're checking for, is everyone there? Uh, is there guys that are injured? Is the first alternate coming? Those are kind of the process, right? Like of the
Yep.
guys who are struggling with injury. Now, to your point, in a major, going to be like uh, try to tee it up regardless of how they feel for the most part. So is that kind of what you're doing? Your agent's checking, friends are checking. If they've heard anything, is everyone there?
Yeah, it's kind of the RNA has someone basically on it. Hey, these are who we know might be not feeling great. This is why. Um, you know, here's who's going to be on site. Here's who's not. People have committed. They'll pull you off the alternates list if you say you're not going to go. So it just keeps going longer and longer. Ben Griffin's checking. Sam Stevens was first alternate. He just had an awesome week last week, so I'm super pumped that he did end up getting some points out of sitting around for a week in Northern Ireland. But um, yeah, his caddy Will was kind of helping relay some messages, just you know, and then yeah, just some guys have been dealing with injuries. That kind of checking in, seeing how they might be feeling. Some guys are prone to WDs, you know, seeing kind of if there's anything coming from their camp. But for the most part, it's just you get what your normal. Make sure everyone's there. Make sure everyone's signed up for the event, registered, on site, and then from that point, it's just all right. Who's who's really really struggling with an injury?
Yeah.
If not, they're probably going to go because it's major.
Yeah. I assume part of it is like Wednesday, you have to change mentally, right, Ryan? Like you're a pro golfer, you want to play in majors, and not only that, but you were in the Scottish, so you get a taste of like what's over there, the fans. It's great. Uh, I assume, and then you're in Reno. As much as I love the Barracuda, there's no fans for the most part. It's an opposite field event. All of the things that come with being in an opposite field event. I assume there had to just be like, okay, I'm here. I gotta do the best I can. Is it hard mentally to go from like shit, I was two people away from being in the British to like I'm playing in Truckee.
I mean, a little bit, but I think for the most part, everyone loves the Barracuda. It's a great event. And you get there and it's kind of a very relaxed atmosphere. So you go out there with the attitude of just trying to enjoy it, uh, take advantage of the opportunity that you have that week. And I mean, you don't really feel too bummed to be there. So I think that was kind of the mindset was just, we have a really cool chance this week to go make something happen. This course is awesome. I like being there. The weather's perfect, and I've played great there before. So why not go out and just attempt to make something good out of it? Because once we kind of knew that I wasn't going to go over there, told the RNA like, hey, unless I think it was Tuesday night, unless I'm in by the time I wake up Wednesday morning. I'm not going to fly over there.
Right.
So it was very much a hey, we're going to go put all our eggs in this basket, go really out there with the right attitude, and try not to get distracted by what could have been or what might have happened. And you got to kind of stay in the moment a little bit and trust that you made the right decision.
Stableford system. I've caddied in the Barracuda a couple times. We've talked about it. I don't think you change your strategy drastically, but there's definitely points in a round. I guess we did when I caddied for Mark. I did that. So I'm asking you, Ryan, is it very situational about how you play a hole? For instance, will you take more? It's easy to say you take more chances. At the end of the day, you still got to just make a bunch of birdies. So because of the scoring format, did you find yourself taking any more chances, or is it very much just pretty standard PGA Tour event? The scoring is just different.
It's a pretty standard PGA Tour event. The scoring is just different. I think you find yourself in certain spots, especially back down on Sunday, near the lead, switching up strategy a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I knew once I had a big lead on a couple of these holes, I didn't put myself in great spots. And I know at one point I was literally just playing for bogey on one hole because I knew if I had a 20 footer for par, I could lag it up there and um, bogey's -1, it's not going to kill you. Whereas like double bogey is
Yeah.
the end of the world. Um, so I think in some situations like that, but you do realize when you have a birdie putt, it's worth two if it goes in. Whereas if you have a par putt, it's only worth one if it goes in. So I feel like maybe on those putts for par, it frees you up a little bit because, there's not a whole lot of penalty if it's missed. But
Mhm.
at the end of the day, it's still golf. You still got to play really solid, get in the hole strategically, just take good shots. And you don't want to think about the format too much until it really, really matters. It's more about just trying to give yourself good looks as often as possible and hope to get a few of them to fall. And, if you get lucky and make an eagle, it's just an added bonus.
We'll go back to how you got your card and those things, but you went back to the Corn Ferry last year, back up this year. You've played exceptional. I've tweeted about it many times, like very under the radar, one of the best seasons out there. What has changed, Ryan? Is there anything that's changed? Just maturity? Is it part of your game? Is it mentally feeling that you belong out there? Well, is there a specific thing, or is it just a progress in your golf game?
I think it's a little bit of everything. I mean, I think mentally I'm a lot more mature in terms of like just decision making on the golf course, week to week travel, just having that added experience. Playing some of these courses for the second time now instead of the first time makes a big deal. Um, I think my game has gotten a lot better. My floor is a lot higher, so I don't really. I feel like when I played bad this year, I've still had a chance to make the cut or made the cut most of the time. And overall, I feel a lot more comfortable. I just feel like have gotten better. Um, so the Corn Ferry last year was a big learning experience, to be honest with you. I mean, I I felt like I should have still been on the PGA Tour, and I didn't go into it with the right attitude. I went into it with the attitude that um, I shouldn't be here. Like, I'm just gonna
Right.
cruise through. I'm not gonna, like, this is gonna be easy. Like, what am I doing? Like, I just the last Corn Ferry event I played the year before, I finished like third in Colombia, and then was on the PGA Tour. Like, why? Like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And um, first 5 or 6 events were all international, and wasn't really having the right mindset, wasn't really doing the right things, and kind of had to take a long look in the mirror when I got back to the States. It's like 60th on the points list or something, and just say, hey, man, you know, you're better than this. Go out there with the right attitude, like, give it 100%. These guys are really good, and you know, give it the respect it deserves. Because, like, you want to be on the PJ Tour, like, you have a great opportunity to go do that. There's so many events left in the season, and just really mindset change. Um, Found a really good caddy, Marcus, last year that helped me out on the Corn Ferry Tour for the vast majority of those events, and then um, just went out with the right attitude, and um, stacked a bunch of good finishes together, and kind of built confidence along the way. And I felt like my game kind of started trending. Learned a lot about myself, being in contention a lot, and was excited to see that when I put my mind to it and I give it 100%, and you kind of go into things with positive attitude, and do those right things, it was working out for me.
Um, it, I tweet about it often, is like the feeling that you have a job for 2 years. Is that, I mean, you were playing really well, Ryan. So obviously your job was pretty much locked up for, I mean, it was locked up for next year anyway. But does that free you up in any way? Like taking a more like schedule wise, is it something you consciously think about? Or is it something like if you maybe go through a rough stretch, then you would think like, oh, at least I don't have to worry about, you know, my card for the following year. So is that
Yeah,
something you consciously think about?
I think it's hard not to think about it. I think, you know, job security is awesome. It's something that you kind of strive for in any line of work, but especially in something that's so performance based. And it's not a bad thing that, you have to go out and perform to keep your card. I think that's what makes golf really special. It's basically the ultimate meritocracy. And, if you perform, like, you're going to get rewarded. If you don't, like, you're not going to get paid. And everyone knows that signing up for it. But um, just the ability for me to set my schedule, go do some things that I've always wanted to do. I think thinking about playing some events internationally this fall, whereas, either that be Australia or Dubai or Japan or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Really kind of looking forward to doing something like that. Whereas if I was grinding, trying to keep my card, I'd be playing Sanderson Farms and Bermuda, and there's no shot at those events. It's just that wouldn't be
Yeah.
possible to kind of do some things that are different for me. So um, I think that's basically the only big change right now. Hopefully, top 50 for next year and getting all to these signature events that they have. And um, besides that, it's just going to be a lot of uh, going into next year, being able to set a schedule, being able to plan weeks and months in advance, book hotels before the week before, um, maybe get a couple cheaper flights because you can book them a couple months out. So,
Yeah.
like, things like that, where right now a lot of stuff that guys kind of in my position that are either on the cusp of getting in events or not, or having to switch up their schedule last minute. It's just a lot of last minute travel, a lot of last minute um, hotels and flights, and logistical kind of nightmares. So hopefully, easing the stress on that is going to be fun.
Let's go back to how you got on the PGA Tour. So I assume people who are listening know, but 2 years ago, Ryan Monday for the Honda. It's a Honda at the time. Finished fourth. Got special temporary membership. The Honda Monday's gone. The waste management's gone. Obviously, there's just a ton of changes, and I get some of them, Ryan. I'm not totally against all of them, but you just spoke about meritocracy. I think pro golf is, unfortunately, it's still meritocracy. You still have to play well, but it's getting further and further away for chances to get onto the PGA Tour. So, what's your thoughts about Mondays going away, because your career's been directly affected by them?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's tough. It's really sad. I think from a macro sense, um, people understand what the PGA Tour is trying to do by reducing the field sizes. Um, but it's hard, man. Like, there's so many good players. I mean, there's hundreds of good players who don't have Corn Ferry status that, like, given the right opportunities, given the proper financial backing, given maybe another year of experience under their belt, could be on the PGA Tour and contend. And I see it all the time, living in Florida, where there's like mini tours and money games and guys just grinding. And um, it's hard. It's sad. It's unfortunate because it's impossible to ask the average golf fan to care about that many people,
Yeah.
but you don't want to give away opportunities from guys that could potentially make a name for themselves. And Monday qualifiers were kind of this special thing that we had in golf where anyone could show up and play their way into a tour event. Um, Anyone could show up and make a name for themselves and basically 7 rounds of golf, 6 rounds of golf. And it's unfortunate that it's going by the wayside. And I feel like there's got to be a way that they can kind of bring them back in some way. But for right now, I think they're really, really trying to. PJ Tour in general is really trying to, you know, emphasize their product for the casual fans.
Mhm.
And I think they believe the best way to do that is um, make it so that the bigger name players are more often on the top of the leaderboard, so people are more inclined to be watching. And it's tough because you want to see new people come up, you want to see guys get challenged, you want to see cuts being made as a real accomplishment. But here we are.
Yeah. I mean, that's always been my argument, Ryan, is like, even if you agree with reduced fields, it's that the door is closing. I would be totally okay with smaller fields if there was still a lot of pathways to get onto the tour. And I've used this stat many times. It's changed since the top 50 has changed, but at one time I did it. It was 15 of the top 50 in the world had made it to the PGA Tour on a path that will be gone in 2026. And so it's not, to me, it's not really about the Monday qualifiers themselves. Obviously, I'm biased and I would love to see those, but it's the fact that guys have changed their careers. Obviously, I'm talking to one now uh, through Mondays. And so we're missing, we'll never know, but we'll never know those people. But the fact is, we're going to have players that we're going to miss out on because Mondays aren't here. And the paths are closer. I use Neil Shipley all the time as an example. Is like, he only had 4 starts to start this season, and he was like 2 or 3 in and had missed every cut. Obviously, he would have got some exemptions. He would have got some opportunities. He could have Mondayed. I'm not saying he wouldn't have made it, but he was 2 cuts away from being in a really tough spot. And as you know, I mean, I use Peter Quest all the time. Peter's so talented, do top 10s every time he Mondays, and can't crack an egg on the Corn Ferry Tour for the most part. He's just a better PGA Tour player. And so we just need pathways, in my opinion, obviously. But Ryan, what a crazy week. Your first PGA Tour win, and then it has to be the craziest round of golf with Cam that you've ever been a part of, I assume.
Yeah, I mean, it was an unbelievable week. I still don't really believe what I witnessed with Cam. the crazy thing was, like, I chipped in and hold out from a bunker, and like basically like those shots weren't even
Afterthought.
good. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
afterthought.
stunk. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
um, but no, I'm super pumped for him. I mean, he was basically grinning ear to ear the whole time. I think it was the most fun he's ever had on a golf course. So, uh, of all things, of all places, it was pretty special. And um, it's it's been a long season, and it was cool to kind of have like a fun round of golf
yeah,
here and there, and kind of like take a step back and see like what makes just casual round of golf so awesome, and
yeah,
see those shots that are just like you have with your buddies, good and bad, that are like it helps you appreciate what most people do when they're playing non-tournament golf, and just enjoying being out there.
yeah. Um, Ryan has always been great to me. I appreciate it. Super happy for you, man. Now it's like the easy part's done for a minute here, so let's might as well go win a playoff event or whatever. Like you got 2 years to like free roll. So I appreciate all of your text calls. Whenever I have a question, Ryan's always there to answer it. So appreciate all you've done to help me, and super happy for you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for having me. And no, appreciate it. And no starting strokes at East like this year, so it's really prime for someone like Corey Connors to sneak in there and make some hay. So
Amen. Thanks, buddy.
have a good one. Appreciate it.